Cities magazine, coming to you from the first day of the Coquitlam Farmers Market. I'm Kathy Chenna, and I'm going to be hosting an ongoing segment called Catching Up with Kathy. This stems from our local radio station, 98.7 CKVM FM. Let's get right into the show. We're going to introduce our famous chef, Fred Suki. So happy to be doing this with you. We're the Fred and Kathy show today.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, and I am so glad to see this market is growing. Every year you see more vendors, more choices, and that is really good.
So let's talk about what are we going to cook today?
Oh, we are going to cook. Actually, I don't know exactly what I'm going to cook because there's so much here you can cook with, but we do have all these asparagus, fresh garlic, spinach, peppers. So we have so much stuff to cook with. And also we have a local salmon and a tuna.
Right. So we have our protein, we've got our vegetables.
We have our protein, we have more protein, but there's not much time to cook all the protein developed here. We have the beef, we have the local chicken, we have fish, we have seafood, there's so much.
So we're back with Tabitha, the Executive Director of the Coquitlam Farmers Market, and we're going to just chat a little bit about what's coming up for the year and tell us a little bit about the background that happens here. I mean, we see everyone is here under the tents and selling their goods, and they're here because they want to be. We talked about make, bake, and grow, but what happens behind the scenes, Tabitha?
So one of the things that we try really hard is to create this as a family space. So farmers markets have a ton of history. They started way before supermarkets ever existed. They usually took place at like a town hall, and it was where all the local gossip happened. It's where all the local produce was traded, all the politics happened, everything like that. With the advent of supermarkets, that sort of disappeared for a while, but we've seen a huge increase in the interest of farmers markets for a variety of reasons. Really, it comes back to people are really looking to become more in touch with their communities and with their food and where their food comes from. Food is something we touches every single one of us every single day. We all like to eat 2 or 3 times in a day, and this is where people are finding that they can come and find good food, high quality food, and meet the people who have made their food. Farmers markets are also really good at developing community. So we will often see people here saying, oh hi, I live down the road from you, or oh you're in my daughter's son's preschools, all that sort of stuff. And they're connecting with their community in a way that they may not otherwise. So one of the things cities always talk about is they're looking for how do we engage our citizens, how do we get people to meet each other, be involved, and farmers markets are a really good example of how that can happen. We have a social benefit, there's an economical benefit to the community to having a farmers market. We know through studies that have been done, our farmers market, for operating 6 months of the year, 1 day a week for 4 hours, our economic impact for this area in Coquitlam is just over $1.5 million. Wow. So that's pretty significant for something. Yes. So that's a benefit that's happening within the community just from having something like this in their community. So with developing that, what we also look to do is to create a place where you can bring your family. So we have lots of activities that go on. So today being our Mother's Day, we had a planting activity for the kids. So all the kids had pots that they could decorate up for mom, and then one of our vendors gave us poppy plants. So the kids are going to be able to take those home and give them to mom and do that. Nice. And we do lots of things like that. Seed planting, so it's a really good way to get kids to understand how something grows. We typically do carrots or sunflowers because they sprout really quickly, but it shows kids just how simple it is to grow something, but that you also have to care for something to help it grow. And many kids have never grown anything. They understand carrots coming from a grocery store or something like that. So one of the things that we're going to do this year with the support of Van City is continue our workshop program that we began at our winter market in just this past winter. So each month we're going to have a hands-on art workshop, a DIY kind of workshop, and then a cooking workshop. And that's going to be a way that we can engage with citizens to learn how to either make a bat house or how to cook. Our seafood vendor, he's going to come and show people how to debone a salmon. Nice. Things like that. So practical things that people are looking for. And we'll have all of that listed on our website so people can sign up to do it. most of the sessions are going to cost about $10, but you'll also get a $10 token to spend at the market. And that way we're sort of creating that engaging people, and then they can go and try some new stuff in the market.
Fantastic. And are you full with all of your vendors right now, or are you always looking to expand? Is there space for new and different people to come in?
We're always looking. We always love to see what's out there, what's new. We have a good part of our market is booked, which is fantastic.
Yes.
But we will expand out into the other parking lot in June for the remainder of the season. So right now we're probably sitting at about 50 vendors on our opening day, and by about June we'll be about 75 vendors, and we'll push out to the other side. So we have a little bit of room to grow if anyone's got something interesting that they'd like to bring by and see.
Very nice. And what kind of traffic would you say comes through the farmers market on the weekend?
We get a really nice diverse group of people coming through. So we really see markets are not, there's a lot of myths around markets that they're really high-end or things like that. And we, here in the Tri-Cities, we really see the whole kind of complement of the demographics of what make up the Tri-Cities. So all the different nationalities, all the different families, people who live in apartments or condos to houses, all that sort of thing. So, and we see about 2,500 people will come through on a Sunday.
Very nice.
And we're sort of seeing that grow. We know that there's only about 1 to 2% of the population that shops at a farmer's market. So we know we've got about 98% of growth potential.
Yes, absolutely. And one last question. I did get to meet someone that was a vendor here with regards to the asparagus. So I was talking to her a little bit about our city, and she didn't really know what I was talking about because she's from Armstrong, BC.
Yep.
So how many vendors are coming from the outer parts of our city here that want to be a part of a farmer's market?
That's a good question. So I would say the majority of our farm vendors are coming from local, but local being, say, within to the Fraser Valley. So if you look around Coquitlam or the Tri-Cities, we've paved over and built over most of our agricultural land.
Okay.
We are sitting on some of the most fertile land, and unfortunately we have paved over and built shopping malls across a lot of it. So a lot of our food is now coming from the valley and farther. So we have some people that come down from the Okanagan in the summertime when the soft fruits come into season. We have people from Armstrong coming down with asparagus. The market is 100% BC local, so we'll take a vendor from anywhere within BC.
Okay.
And the farthest one comes from, I would say it's probably our beef vendor, and he comes down from 150 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, great. I know we're going to get to chat a little bit later and visit some vendors together, talk about what they're bringing to the farmers market, and I'll check in with you later.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you.
Going to do some cooking,
Okay,
Kathy.
Fred, back to
Time
you.
to do the cooking.
You've done your prep work. That looks
I have
beautiful.
done some prep work.
Those
I have
colors
prepped
look
my
amazing.
vegetables.
What are we going to
I
start
have some
with?
fresh pasta from my
Okay.
restaurant. You know, you
Okay.
cannot make
Yes,
fresh pasta,
yes.
but fresh pasta which we make at Pasta Polo.
Yes.
Which very economical, so you have everything.
You're a big supporter of buying local, as
I
we know.
do, and I really believe, and this is just growing, not
Yes.
just in BC, everywhere.
Yes,
Now you
everywhere.
can see
Yes.
people are growing their own food, they're buying the local. So this is a great way of life.
I love walking in my community and being able to buy
Oh yeah,
local.
that used to be 100 years ago.
Yes.
You know, I mean, why
It's
not?
coming
You know,
back, right? It's
People
all coming
coming
back.
back. People coming appreciating the things we, or there we go.
There we go. Some beautiful colors in there, Fred.
No, I mean, quick.
So what inspires you, Fred? Tell us a little bit about that. What inspires you?
Well, I mean, I always like. First of all, this is my profession. You know, I had many restaurants. I love cooking, and I love and I believe how food is important to your health,
Yes.
your life. And I always believe in prevention, not the cure. Cure is much more expensive than prevention. So by good food, nutritious food, we are preventing of being sick, which it costs much more money to be cured.
Right.
So I want that idea of promoting and educating our citizens for for a better nutritious food. And that should be a policy of, hopefully, of our government to promote local healthy food so their cost on healthcare comes down. So we save money actually at the long term.
Right. So let's talk about Pastapolo. You did some renovations.
Yes, I did.
Yes, a new brick oven's been put in. I got to meet your chef.
Yes, I have a
Vino,
chef
right?
from Tuscany. Yeah. So he's helping me in Tuscany. He's a very passionate about food.
Yes.
And I have my own greenhouse, which we grow not everything, but some of the vegetables and herbs. And I try to use everything local. A really good piece. So
very nice. Yeah. The color there, yeah.
Careful not to. Yeah. There we go. Looks like you know cooking too. It's good.
Italian style,
okay,
yes,
good.
definitely.
Yeah. So this, getting stirred, and you put the skin side first.
The skin side first. Okay, yeah. Good.
And you see the salmon, getting cooked. You see that thing.
You can see that getting cooked too. Exactly. Yeah, it looks great.
Very good. So
yeah, that plate looks fantastic. I haven't had breakfast, and we know it's lunch now. So I get to be the first taster. Fred, this meal looks amazing, full of some color, fresh ingredients only, and you're going to add some of the finishing touches to it, right?
I'm going to add some fresh Parmesan cheese to the pasta, and also there's a chili pepper, which we picked up from market, and if they want a little bit spicy, which I like myself, usually a little spicy, you can sprinkle that on it too. But I'm going to start with cheese, so very good cheese.
And you just never know who you're going to see at the Coquitlam Farmers Market. Earlier today, we saw Mayor Richard Stewart, and let's take a look at my meeting with him. And here we are, first day opening at the Coquitlam Farmers Market. You just never know who you're going to see, and I happened to run into Mayor Richard Stewart. Thanks for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love being here at the Coquitlam Farmers Market.
Yes, absolutely. So let us know, what does a community farmers market mean to you, Mayor Stewart?
Well, what does it mean to our community? It helps build community. It helps bring lots of organizations together, common cause. It also helps celebrate the idea that local produce and local farmers and small plot farming can really make a difference in the way in which our food is more secure, our food is more sustainable.
Exactly. So this is the first week of the market. Do you think we'll be seeing more of you here buying your local produce and organic foods?
You'll see me every week. Yes.
Because you like to eat.
Absolutely. I'm an eater, yes, and I'll buy some bread, and there's meat products here, but there's lots and lots of fresh produce. My fruits and vegetables come from farmers market in the summer.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming out on Mother's Day. We know you're very busy, and carry on with the rest of your day. What do you have planned for today?
Well, I'm here to pick up a couple of things for the Mother's Day brunch that I'm heading over to at my mother-in-law's.
Great, fantastic. Once again, thanks so much. Good to see you.
All the best.
Look, I see another local person
there
here.
There we go.
Yeah, we're going to talk to you.
Come in.
Come on in.
Hi, Tabby.
Hi, Rose. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great
How
to
are
see
you?
you here. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Yes,
Same to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes. So, it's so great to find you here and see you. And you've been sort of doing a lot of different things. I know you're very involved in the arts community and the arts center, but there's something else that you just started.
Well, it's been a few months now.
Yes.
I'm doing Creative People Talking. And it's a free-form gathering of creative types. And we just meet to talk, to share experiences, knowledge, and see what everybody's doing in the community. And it's not just visual artists. We're doing writers. We got actually quite a few published authors in our midst. We have dancers, musicians, and we just meet on a casual basis.
Very nice. And do you meet at different places each time?
Right now we're meeting at Gallery Bistro. It's in Port Moody on Clark Street. And we meet on Thursday afternoons, and we do it every 2 weeks. We're going to try a Saturday morning, but we have to find a location.
Okay, good. That's great. And what do you guys tell us a little bit about the topics that are discussed there?
Well, we talk about what goes on in the Tri-City area. We've actually had city councilors and people who put on events come, and they let us know what's going on. So we've talked about studio space, which seems to be an issue. We talk about upcoming shows and the projects each of us are working on or we want to work on.
Right.
And sometimes we want to do a little bit of collaboration. So, and we even talked about Alberta politics the other day.
Of course. And you're sort of getting ideas from these different people, and that helps you and get inspired to, after that creative people talking session, if you will, you go back and think, wow, I really learned a lot from this person or that person, and sort of take little tidbits back with you. Is that sort of the premise of it all?
That's part of it. The
Yes.
other part is that artists, most of them, tend to work alone. You know, they're stuck down in their studio and they're working or writing. They need to network with other artists so that they maybe can share resources,
Yes.
learn about things that are upcoming in the community, and meet other artists. And it was a little bit of an offshoot of last year's Kaboom, where artists started to recognize each other, whether it was their name, their work, or even their faces. So we become more of a community.
Exactly. And so tell us again, you're going to try for a Saturday morning. You're looking for a location.
Right now, Helen from Gallery Bistro said, why don't you try us again? And so we're going to try in a couple of Saturdays, try it there. You can follow us on Facebook under Creative People Talking.
Great, great. And so how did this inspiration come about?
Well, it was partially from Kaboom,
Yes.
where I started getting stopped in the street because people recognized me and they wanted to talk about either what they were doing or what was coming up next, and just to talk.
Right.
You know, so it's sort of an artist salon, it's sort of a network. It's just to get together and to socialize even. And since there seems to be a need for this, I decided to go ahead and just start it up.
That's fantastic. Well, I follow you on Facebook. Hopefully there'll be a Saturday session where I can join in and just listen to what people are talking about. And thank you so much. I want you to enjoy the rest of the market, and
Oh,
happy
thank you.
Mother's Day again. And thanks so much for stopping by.
You're welcome.
And now we're going to actually talk to one of the vendors of the Coquitlam Farmers Market, who was great enough to supply us with the fish. Ron's here today with Wild West Coast Seafoods. And tell us a little bit about what inspires you about fish and how you got started. Did you wake up one day and say, I'm going to sell fish?
Well, here's the funny thing. My dad's a commercial fisherman.
Okay.
When I graduated high school, I looked him in the eye and I said, don't even think I'm going to be touching anything to do with fish. I wanted to work with street kids, and that's what I did for a lot of years. After that, I ended up realizing I need a break from that. My dad wanted to start selling local BC fish to BC families. He was really frustrated that what he saw was a lot of international product, and he didn't find a lot of local product that people could choose from or know about. So that was the nice thing about starting with the farmers markets, is people want to know what's great about local stuff. So that's where we started. But I had a big curve ahead of me because my dad, who knew everything about seafood, I had to do a lot of catch up.
Right.
So part of what we bring to the table at the farmers market is when customers come and want to know, I've actually been in that place where my mom cooked fish the same way all our lives. I had no clue what we were eating, except for salmon, of course.
Right.
So I had that journey to go on with our customers to think, what do people want to know? So that's what started Wild West Coast Seafoods, is a sarcastic son who said, I'm going to have nothing to do with seafood, any way, shape, or form for a job. And years later, the universe just said, we're going to show you. And so that's how we started in the farmers market.
And how long have you been coming to this market?
We've been coming to this market. This is our 5th year, but we've been doing markets now for 8 years in total.
Okay, and do you have a retail location?
We don't. We actually like connecting with the people at the local farmers markets. So we do the Burnaby Farmers Market, the New West, and the Coquitlam Market.
Okay, that's great. And so tell us a little bit about the fish that we use today. Of course, there's different kinds of salmon, and there's you help me, there's the fresh farm, there's Pacific, there's all these different kinds. I mean, you're the expert, you tell us.
Yes. What we're finding is the ability to make a simple decision about fish is not so simple. And no one wants to be, I've got to get a degree to know about what's going on environmentally, what's going on from an economic perspective of what's out there in terms of the fish in the ocean. So what we're able to provide is some good basic information. I do the homework so that the customer doesn't have as much to worry about. We can give common sense, simple information so that we're not saying, don't ever eat farm fish, but here's some good things about what's happening in the industry.
Right.
Here's some things to pay attention to and ask some questions about. And that we like to promote local and wild.
Right.
That's our first priority for sure. And also through the seasons, just because something is ocean-wise doesn't mean there aren't issues affecting whether it maintains that status or not.
Right.
So we're able to do that kind of research through the seasons. This year we're not carrying Chinook salmon as part of our program because a lot of reports are coming out with orca whales not getting as much.
Okay.
And so we like to be able to provide that option for the customer to make some choices rather than explain this is what you need to choose.
Fantastic. Maybe we'll catch up with you at the Burnaby Farmers Market.
Wonderful.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much,
so
Ron.
much,
Thank
Kathy.
you. And thank you so much, Ron, for being with us. Ron's with Wild West Coast Seafoods. We learned a lot about the education of salmon and tuna, and we look forward to seeing you at future farmers markets. Up next is Tabitha, the Executive Director of the Coquitlam Farmers Market, and she's going to be talking to us and introducing us to the market sponsor, Macdonald Realty, and we'll be listening to Dimitri and Angela.
Hi there, it's Tabitha, and I'm here with Dimitri and Angela from Macdonald Realty, and we are really excited to have them as part of the market this year. They have come on board as our market sponsor for the season, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to do a lot of extra programming. So the funding that we'll receive as part of their sponsorship is going to help us to be able to put on different kinds of kids activities and workshops and things to engage the community. So we're here with them today, and we're just going to have a little chat and see, what was your interest? How come you decided that the farmers market was a place that you wanted to have a presence and basically be at every Sunday with us?
Well, it's a community event, and we feel we're a big part of the community. We have a number of offices throughout BC, and it's a company that that wants to be involved as much as possible in the community. So for us, it's fun to come out to talk to people. People get to ask us questions. It's less intimidating to talk to us here as opposed to going into our office. And we enjoy, we got little games for kids set up, and so it ends up being fun for everybody involved.
Excellent. So you guys are from the Coquitlam office, which isn't very far here from our location here on Dogwood. And we're going to see you every Sunday, all through summer long. And people will be able to come and talk to you about local real estate that's available.
Yeah, we answer different questions. So some of the questions might be regarding other locations, but we can still help and explain and maybe give you some names of people that might help you in those communities.
Wonderful. And you're going to run a kids activity each week.
Yes, we are. We give out candies, gifts, activities, everything else.
Excellent. Well, thank you. We are very grateful to you for being part of the market this year and for sponsoring us. And we're really looking forward to being able to do a whole bunch of stuff with you this year.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome back. We're here at the Coquitlam Farmers Market, and I'm Kathy with Catching Up with Kathy. Boy, did I learn a lot today. Make, Bake, and Grow. The executive director shared so many different things with me about the vendors that are here at the market and what they're trying to preserve and the community that they're trying to bring together with the farmers market. We heard from Tabitha earlier, 2,500 people come here on a weekly basis to buy their local produce and their meats, and there's so many different things to do. You'll run into your neighbors even, so hopefully you can come to the farmers market. And I ran into Trish Mendewo with she's the president of Tumble Bus, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Tumble Bus and the different things that you're doing. Go ahead, Trish. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely, absolutely. You and I got to talking a little bit, and you're doing some great things, and I'm really interested in, you talked to me a little bit about autism, and that really sparked an interest for me. And, tell us a little bit of the correlation between your Tumble Bus and what it does for children that do have autism.
Sure. Yeah, for those people that don't know much about the Tumble Bus,
yes,
it's actually a 40-foot school bus that's been converted into a mobile gym.
Okay.
So kids come on board and they get to play with all these different cool stuff such as zip line and zip line, monkey bars, trampoline, and all such equipment, right? So when we work with kids with autism, they come on the bus, and because we are so structured and because it's a closed environment, they really feel at home. And we don't really activate most of those senses that normally bother them. Mm-hmm. So when they come on the Tumble Bus, they just flourish. They just love it.
That's fantastic. And how long have you been the owner of the Tumble Bus?
Tumble Bus has been in operation for 2 years now.
2 years. And primarily was it used for parents like myself, for example? We would have birthday parties there, or just an activity sort of thing. They would rent the Tumble Bus. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So what we do is we have so many ways that we use the Tumble Bus. We go to schools, and we have actually partnered with the school district. Okay. And we do after-school programs for the school district. We work with daycares. We go to weekly programs at daycares. A lot of them don't have space to to have their own activities.
Oh, yes.
So they get us there, and we're mobile. So we come right to their door, and then the kids get to have the physical activity that they need. And on top of it, we also do birthday parties. So we go to people's homes, we park right in front of their driveway, and the kids get to have a memorable birthday party. And most of all, we do events. So we support events such as the Juvenile Diabetes, Autism Speaks walks.
Yes.
We are there to support the community and for kids to enjoy and have fun at the same time.
Great. Now, do you have any adult parties at all, or just kids oriented?
Oh, we get asked that so
Zip line's fun. Zip lining is fun, isn't it?
I know.
But unfortunately not, right?
No.
No.
I wish we could have team meetings on the Tumble Bus,
Yeah,
but no.
that would be fun. Tell me a little bit about your other passion, your juvenile diabetes. Talk a little bit about that. You're having a fundraiser. I believe it's called Adam's Army. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So we have so many fundraisers that we work with.
Yes.
Juvenile diabetes being one of them. So we have one coming up here in the Tri-Cities where we're going to be supporting Adam's Army, and we have partnered with ATA Plumbing as well as PriceSmart, and we're going to be at PriceSmart, in the future. So and then we also do autism,
Yes.
like I mentioned,
Yes.
and we go to those events as well.
Good. And how can people find out more information about you?
Well, if people want to find out, they can go to our website, which is www.vancouvertumblebus.com.
Fantastic.
Again, it's vancouvertumblebus.com.
VancouverTumblebus.com.
That's
Great.
correct.
Thanks so much, and it was great running into you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
You too. Thank you so much for joining us today on the opening day of the Coquitlam Farmers Market. It was fantastic. I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot with regards to make, bake, and grow. Special thanks goes to our restaurateur, Fred Sufi of Pastapolo, and of course we can't forget the amazing Tabitha McLaughlin, who is the executive director here and spends countless hours around the clock making this market for the community and for the people of the Tri-Cities. Now, one thing I want to also tell you is don't forget to catch up with me on 98.7 CKPM FM on Friday mornings at 7:20 a.m. and 4:20 p.m. And I also want to give a shout out to my amazing daughter who spent the day with me here today, and my son who couldn't be with us because he's in the UK. Now, let's catch up next week, and I look forward to seeing you then.